You will find the economics section on the second floor of the library. Next time, we'll discuss the influence of the media on public policy. There is plenty of cheap accommodation off campus. The lecture on child psychology has been postponed until Friday. The meeting will take place in the main auditorium. You must establish a day and a time with your tutor. There will be no extensions given for this project. New timetables will be posted on the student notice board. All students are encouraged to vote in the forthcoming elections. The Arts magazine is looking for a new assistant editor. The lecture will deal with the influence of technology on music. Make sure you correctly cite all your sources. There are hundreds of clubs and societies to choose from. Does the college refectory offer vegetarian dishes on a daily basis? All essays and seminar papers submitted must be emailed to your tutor. He was not the only one to call for a legal reform in the 16th century. The Drama Society is now auditioning for parts in the student play. There is a position available for a junior lecturer in media studies. There will be a significant rise in tuition fees starting next year. You will be informed of the results by email. Please have copies of your seminar papers in the library a week in advance. Most students are not eligible to claim housing benefits. If you want to quit the student union, tell the registrar. Does the university have an ice hockey team? Without doubt, his primary motive was economic. The modern approach to the problem is to stress the symbolic side of human nature. Many privately owned firms have been eaten up by larger corporations. I'm afraid Professor Jones doesn't usually suffer fools. Most of these criticisms can be shown to be false. You are not permitted to take reference books out of the library. The seminar will now take place on Tuesday of next week. You don't have to be on Professor Smith's course to attend this lecture. The library will be closed for 3 days over the bank holiday weekend. I think we should get together over the weekend to discuss this assignment. There's an hourly bus service from the campus into town. This is the third time you've asked for an extension on this project. They say Professor Jones's lectures are always interesting and funny. Being a student representative on the union really cuts into my study time. I've got a tutorial in an hour and I haven't had any time to prepare for it. Factors such as cost and function influence the design of a bridge. It's important that humans dispose of their waste in appropriate ways. If you are unable to complete the task in time, please notify me by email. The financial report for the last quarter will be available this afternoon. Extra seminars will be scheduled to assist you with revision. Please switch off all electronic devices when you are attending a conference session. It is important that you work as a team on this project. The study showed that people's mood can be affected by news and weather reports. Detailed analysis of population growth has revealed some alarming predictions. Please note that the college laboratories will be closed for cleaning next week. Students who wish to apply for an extension should approach their tutors. The research looked at neighborhood cooperative schemes such as community gardens. Visual aids can make presentations clearer and more interesting. Economy of scale is the increase in efficiency that occurs when more goods are produced. The university is working towards being more environmentally sustainable. Unlike applied arts, fine arts do not serve a practical function. Modern poetry often tests the conventions of language and rhythm. The law library is closed on Sundays and public holidays. There are no places left in the morning tutorial. The conference is predicted to draw greater numbers than last year. This module develops our understanding of the theory behind advertising campaigns. Computer software has changed a lot in the last year. Exam results will be available next week from the course office. The most modern agricultural equipment is now extremely expensive. The number of students registering for postgraduate research has risen. This semester we plan to specialize in educational psychology. The new drug will be tested in North America. Books which are overdue will incur a daily fine. Distance learning has become far more popular these days. You need to write a proposal for your research. Studies suggest there may be a correlation between educational achievement and family size. Tomorrow's lunchtime seminar on nuclear engineering has been postponed. During that period, heavy industry grew rapidly in the north of the country. Students must hand in their assignments by Friday. Most students on last year's course did well in this module. Tuesday's lecture on social psychology will now take place in the Central Hall. Anyone who has a problem with their accommodation should speak to the welfare officer. The fertile plains in the east of the region provide excellent land for farming. Opposition to the government's tax policies was widespread across business sectors. Students with queries about this term's timetables must speak to their tutor immediately. Professor Smith will be late for today's lecture. The circulation desk is located on the ground floor. Tutorials are held for 2 hours, every Thursday, during semester. International students can get help with locating housing near the university. The student welfare officer can help with questions about exam techniques. Most of the students were not able to attend Professor Green's seminar. Some of the references in the essay were old and out of date. We will divide the class into 3 discussion groups. Every student in the class passed the exam without trouble. There is more detail in the table on page 5. You can get to the college by bus, train or car. We should divide the assignment into 3 parts and work together. Next week's tutorial, on Tuesday, has been cancelled. I'm going to attend the briefing for students. The chemistry exam results were posted on the website yesterday. I need a short extension in order to finish the assignment. To be graded distinction, a score of at least 80% is needed. The key points were contained in the summary on pages 3 to 20. Before you start your essays, you should revise the issues we discussed today. All of these historical sources should be referred to in the project. I thought the last 2 chapters were the hardest to understand. The resources are provided as links on the home page. Semester 1 ends the last week in November. Please hand in your assignment before 3 o'clock. Always underline the available time in an exam and note any compulsory sections. First skim the exam paper, then read it carefully. The key to effective study is being organized. As a representative of the Student Council, attendance at all meetings is compulsory. Dr. Brown's office has moved to level 2. The Economics Faculty Building is located on City Road. The course outline can be obtained from Professor Hill's assistant. The diagram shows the 4 main causes of this problem. Let's meet after class to discuss these issues in more detail. All students are required to submit a summary of their findings tomorrow. We will need the equipment in the main lab for this experiment. The results were not what we expected, so we conducted the experiment again. A burglar broke into my house while I was away on a trip. A connection between personality and blood type has not been scientifically proven. A few trees fell down in our neighborhood during the storm last week. A lot of people who have been up until now spending money having a good time now need to be more careful with their money. After a long day at work, nothing is better than a good night's sleep. After I got married, my French got better since I started speaking French with my wife. After she lost her job, she couldn't afford to feed her dogs, so she gave them away. All I want to do is sit here and drink this bottle of wine with you. I'm sorry, but I have a previous appointment for tomorrow. My house is in the northern part of the city. Your way of looking at something depends on your situation. She is related to him by marriage. Tom doesn't watch TV except on Saturdays. What will happen if there's power failure now? I would never feed my dog commercial dog food. She acknowledged that my statement was true. How much time did you spend doing research before you started writing? Can we really learn to speak a foreign language like a native? There is an urgent need for people to help clean up the environment. Do you have any tickets for today's performance? Tom suggested another plan to the committee. Tom said he would draw a map for her if necessary. She doesn't pay much attention to how she dresses. These flowers have a unique smell. Mary felt happy when she learned the results of the election. Are there any English magazines in this library? I think it's very difficult for an Englishman to imitate a real American accent. Spending time with your significant other should be high on your priority list. I looked in my closet for something to wear, but I couldn't find anything appropriate for the occasion. You seem to have lost sight of your original objective. I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Which air conditioner do you think is the most efficient? Moving up the class ladder also brings unexpected costs. What you don't know about writing is also a form of knowledge. All experiments are fruitful if you don't have any preconceived notions about the results. When I arrived, the big dog barked because it was lonely. The loser of the race buys everybody else an ice cream. Even though he drove with care, he failed the test. The boys walked down the road and their parents waved from the house. My friend gave me a lift because it was raining. Various measures were proposed which would only have aggravated the situation. To raise a child to adulthood requires your heart, energy, time, and wealth. You're the best advertising executive this company has ever had. He was thought to be merely amusing himself with politics. He didn't seem surprised to see his alleged friend. It must be nice to be able to come out here and see them anytime you want. Everyone wanted to meet the artist and discuss the work they were interested in. He was a master printer and an artist of the first order. Americans eat more bananas than they eat any other fruit. The hardness of the butter is proportional to the softness of the bread. Due to lack of policies for proper water management, the irrigation system is too poor. I look for the day when 1 billion planets are populated with 1 billion people each. This subsequently formed the first plank of the Labour platform. Such is the nature of a blood bond. The nepotism in which the Pope indulged is especially inexcusable. She glanced nervously around the brush and back at him. Immortals and deities didn't have the capacity to care for others. The facts you have garnered with such infinite trouble invariably fail you in a pinch. The solution, when boiled, deposits most of its oxide in the metahydrate form. A remarkable shrine with fetish idols was also discovered. She was trying hard to ignore the sensations in her body. In spite of the lateness of the hour, the rest of us were far too hyper for sleep. She stirred the ice cream until it was soft. No crop responds more readily to careful husbandry and skillful cultivation. It was an illogical thought, but her mind was beyond logic. Alex captured her hand and forced her to drop the potatoes. I'd better get my campaign manager cracking. Don't get alarmed, but I've taken the liberty to be a tad candid with him. I want to go for a meal, then go to the opera. Sarah prepared an elaborate breakfast in the morning. An edition of his Latin lyrics appeared at Regensburg in 1884. The chief industries are weaving, leather-making, dyeing and working in iron and pottery. In 1868 he became editor of the Dublin Review. Our young people need education and more organized activities. The electronic equipment had disappeared as well. His stunt tonight was nothing short of jealousy. Target could raise the price on the remaining copies because of the increased demand. May the love of those around you help you through the days ahead. The beast stands for evil and darkness. Words can't express how saddened we are to hear of your loss. Education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom. The foundation of every state is the education of its youth. I have enough acreage and cattle to absorb some of the loss. Next, he must abstain from all flesh diet except fish. A slow smile worked its way across his face and into his eyes.